Anyone who has experienced disconnection, whether it be from themselves or from other people, will verify that it's really not a nice place to be. To feel so isolated, to feel misunderstood, and to feel so alone in life. It's really not a pleasant experience, and yet it happens quite a bit. And it can happen for multiple reasons, and one of those I'm going to address today, and that is our struggle to balance our expectations with reality, our struggle with meeting people where they are as opposed to where we'd like them to be, likewise meeting ourselves where we are as opposed to where we think we should be. And I suppose we have all of these concepts and ideas and assumptions and expectations in our mind as to how things should play out, how other people should act, whereabouts we should be in our life. And we're very, very attached to those. I mean, it's like as if we think that because we predict it, it should happen. And like on a logical level, we know that that's not true. But because a lot of this is nearly done at a subconscious level, we're not even aware of it. And so we find when other people don't act exactly the way that we would have anticipated, or when life doesn't turn out for us the way we would have liked, it fucks us up. We get so pissed off. We get so annoyed. We get so disillusioned and angry. And ultimately, we have to be able to separate what is reality and what was our hopes for reality, and that involves a lot of self-awareness. It involves being able to detach yourself from what your ideal situation would be and to be able to find acceptance for what the current reality is. And I know it sounds like it should be straightforward, but it's something that we all struggle with. Me in particular, I'm constantly creating this alter reality for myself, that really isn't where things are at. And I struggle then with, the day-to-day reality of a scenario. So it's about being very honest with yourself and looking at yourself with a certain amount of humility and integrity, but also questioning and getting curious with what that kind of aspiration means for you. What does it mean for you if a person acts a certain way? What does it mean for you if you achieve something in life or you get where it is that you wanted to go? And oftentimes when we look at the actual why of what we wanted, of why we wanted something to work out in a certain way, it's because of fear. It's because of some internal struggle or some internal conflict that we're experiencing and that we're not addressing. So it's really important to be able to go that little bit deeper, take it down a level and question why it is that you're so attached to what another person does or where it is that you are in life. Likewise, when you are, I suppose, weighing up the people in your life, when you're weighing up where you're at in life, try to pay attention to what is good and what is positive. We have this tendency to always focus on the negatives, to always focus on whether or not a person is what we expected of them, as opposed to acknowledging where they're showing up for us, acknowledging where we're showing up for ourselves. And that's a discipline. That's something that you have to practice in order for it to play out on a regular basis. So being very mindful, being very consciously aware of the good as opposed to automatically working towards the negative all the time is something that we could all do with a little bit more of. Likewise, recognize that everyone has limitations. We tend to have crazy high standards for other people and for ourselves as well that are very unrealistic. And worse still, we tend to really, really up the ante when it comes to other people. We often have expectations for people that we wouldn't hold quite as high for ourselves. So be really honest about, what it is that you expect and whether or not it's attainable or whether or not you're holding people and yourself to impossible perfectionist standards. The more you can do this, the more relaxed you're going to be, the more you're going to be able to enjoy the people in your life, because ultimately we can take it all so seriously and demand, or we can lighten up a little bit and recognize that people are fallible, you know, that we all have our weaknesses, we all have our faults, but underneath it all, we're ultimately good people. We're all just trying to kind of work through our own bullshit and get through the day. So, you know, by us judging other people, we're not exactly helping the matter. And again, it's all about kind of trying to see things in context and trying to see things with a little perspective and a sense of humor. And a lot of seeing things with perspective involves you getting out of your own little ego and being able to sit with the fact that somebody just may not have the resources available to them in this current moment to be able to do what it is that you expect. Likewise, you are doing the best that you have in this given moment. And we have to have that level of tolerance with ourselves and with other people. And that's not saying that things can't change. You know, that's not saying that you can't request change, that you can't ask another person, okay, is it possible that I could get this from you? That you can't ask yourself, is it possible that I can do a little bit better, or that I can go a little bit further, or that I can be a little bit, you know, kind of more self-aware, more conscientious. But it just means that you're accepting things as they are in the present moment, that you're not fighting against reality on a continuous basis, that you're not away with the fairies, that you're very present and very okay and mindful and conscientious about what is. Because ultimately, if you're all the time fighting reality, if you're all the time fighting other people, expecting them to be something that they're not, you're the one that's going to end up unhappy. You're the one that's going to be carrying around all these negative feelings of resentment and anger and frustration and sadness and disappointment. And that's just eating you up inside. It's causing you internal damage, and it's making you feel disconnected with yourself and disconnected with the people in your life. So if you struggle with expectations, whether you have perfectionist standards for yourself or indeed for other people in your life, and it causes you anxiety, it causes you distress, and it causes you negativity, get in touch with me on my website. I'd love to work with you. The website is fundamentals.ie.